Hey guys, it's Mike with another Guild of Guardians free-to-play video. We are back on the free-to-play to check in. We are on to day 58. So we've gone through the full month rotation twice and on to day 58. So we've wrapped up the JD event. We did pretty well. Got some rewards there. I think we completed room 180. So there was one reward at the very end of the JD event we did not get, or the full house event. I keep calling it the JD event. But that's going on. So we're going to jump into our free-to-play account, start rolling through some of the different resources that we've stacked up over the last several days, maybe even a couple weeks since the last time we were in here. And I have done the bare minimum just to get all my daily quests done and gone through adventure mode and so forth every day. So there should be quite a bit of things we can do on the account today and hopefully make some progress. So in the JD event, they're guaranteeing a champion if you have 60 calling crystals. So a new strategy that I'm working towards is all of my arena tokens go towards calling crystals. And that way, if they happen to do that again, hopefully I have 60 stacked up where I can go for that champion. Unfortunately, obviously not going to be able to do that for JD, and she is a great healer. I do feel Flix does a great job as well. JD definitely has an edge though. If you see that video I put out a couple days back, but in the interim, Flix will do a lot of work for me, so I'm not going to be missing out too much. But if they happen to launch like another Tianlong or something like that, that's going to benefit me as far as enlightenment on my main account, I want to definitely have that. And then also on the free to play, if somebody that comes in and of that nature, I want to be able to have the option to pull for them. So I am going to stack up as many of these calling crystals as I can. And forego the gold and the upgrade stones that I typically get with those arena tokens. So in our inventory, I have collected several of these, but we do have 5 of the daily chests as well as the weekly chests, 7 of the dailies that you get inside of the store. Also have some soul stones sitting here and a bunch of materials to go through to hopefully craft a piece of gear or two. So I'm going to collect all that gold as well, get it on the account, and then we'll start seeing where we want to make progress. Alright, so looking at the Guardians here, somewhere along the way, Darizda outranked Tuskrog. Got her up to 876, probably by accident. Tuskrog got to 867, so we do want to get him back in front because right now Grizel's following Darizda and keeping her from doing her linear assault, which is unfortunate. So I think we're going to work on enlightening him. We are 700 soul stones away from being able to do that. So I'm going to go out into the inventory and see if we have enough champions to go ahead and sacrifice. We're going to have to do 2 Tuskrogs. In order to do that, we have 7, so we can sacrifice 5. My Guardian space is full. It's always full. But we can do that. We also have the Morana, who gives us the Keeper Soul Stones, Palmera, and Aquirus. So we have plenty of characters that we can pull those soul stones from and get him enlightened. So we'll get those, we'll get the inventory cleaned up, and then we'll come back and get all those soul stones in and go ahead and get that enlightenment done. All right, so just from cleaning up the vault, apparently I did a summoning fest not too long ago, but it got us what we needed to get that enlightenment done. So we're going to go ahead and enlighten Tuskrog. Now at this point, because it's a free to play, he is not ascended, so at any time I can take all of these resources off him and take him back to a 3-star level 1 and get all 8 copies of him out if I want to do that. So as I get ascension seals and stuff of that nature, I might do that later and try to get his ascension level up. But being this is the free to play, I'm going to have to accumulate quite a few of those before I'm ready to do that. On the ascension front, it does take 42 ascension seals to ascend Tuskrog, and I have 71. So I have been getting a few on the account, completely free to play, which is awesome. We did get Tuskrog to level 930, so he's back on top above Darizda. I think we're going to work on Palmera, get her level up to maybe 150. I did accumulate quite a few of these scrolls, but that way she's a little more durable up in the front. And then I think we'll start working on Flix to get her heals a little higher. Although we might pull Grizel up to level 130, but let's see if we can get Palmera up to 150 and go from there. Alright, so we can go ahead and upgrade her by 10 levels and still have plenty of scrolls left over from all the accumulation that we've been doing. One thing to keep in mind here is she is technically maxed out as far as her skills are concerned. So you don't have to level her up. Once you get to level 130, you don't really have to level her up in increments of 10. But that is a benefit until you get to 130. That being said, for Grizel, she doesn't max out till she's at 180 because she's a legendary. So that is something to keep in mind there. And oh, I messed it all up. I'm gonna have to put all the scrolls back on her. I should have just leveled her up. Silly. All right, so we're actually gonna click the button this time and get her dialed in up 10 levels. We see a lot of stat increase there. So now she's on level 150. We'll probably work to enlighten her next. But unfortunately, she also needs those keeper soul stones. That being said, we might be able to put those soul stones together with the fragments we have inside our inventory. So I might take a peek at that and maybe get her up an enlightenment level or two. Get her maxed out would be a pretty big win for the day. But we're going to go ahead and head over to Grizel and at least get her up to level 130. If we autofill her, we're going to get 38 levels. So I think we can take Flix up to 140 and probably get Grizel up to 140 as well. All right, so moving Flix up to level 140, we're going to get almost 100,000 HP, which is going to increase her overall healing ability. One thing in the JD event that I thought was really interesting is some of those 5-star level 11, 12s, they had 2.5, 3 million HP on the chest plate. And those would be huge for Flix here, because all of her heals are based off of her max HP. And so if she's able to get that kind of HP on her chest, that would be incredible and go a long way with all of those incremental heals that she does over time. It would help keep our team way more survivable. So it kind of inspired me to start pressing on with some of this gear and really get her dialed in, trying to get up to that level. Like for example, if we were to take this up a level, we're going to gain 35,000. But at some of the ones that we saw in there, and I don't know that it directly translates, it might just be they were really awesome pieces of gear for the event. But theoretically, we should be able to see those same types of numbers when we get up to that 10-star, 11-star legendary. So it could be something to look forward to, but it would definitely help her out and do some monster heals. But now we got her up to level 140. We're going to see how far we can get Grizel along. If we were to autofill her, we'd take her clear up to 152. So I think we'll probably take her up to 140, and then we'll put the remaining stuff on Flix. Alright, so if we bring her up 20 levels, we're going to pick up quite a bit HP here. We're going to bring up some attack as well as defense. Overall power ranking is going to shoot up, so we're going to get her up to 140. We also get to upgrade 2 of her skills. So we're going to move from 250 to 275. So that's going to be good. And then hide and seek from 275 to 300. So that's also going to be good. So she's going to do a little more damage for us and also be a little more durable, which is probably the bigger deal. And I think we're going to go ahead and use the rest of our scrolls on Flix. Although, yeah, well, you know what? We're going to back that off to 150 and then put the rest on Tuskrog. Alright, so now that we got our scrolls all allocated on our champions, I'm going to take a quick peek at our gear sets and see where we left off. We do need a pair of boots here, although these were 15% at 5 stars, so they're probably a little less of a priority than some of the others. We're working towards putting epic gear across the board on all of our champions, tier 6. So we can definitely use some tier 6 boots, specifically attack, as well as tier 6 pieces for Darizda. And then as we move in here, we could use some tier 6 boots for Palmera. She is in attack boots, and they're 12%. So those should be pretty easy to replace. So we'll try to make a good set of boots for her. And then we'll probably work on Darizda. And then let's see here, HP on both of these guys. So yeah, so that's pretty good. So yeah, we'll probably work on a set of boots for Palmera, and then we'll work on a set of boots for Darizda, hoping we get attack. Alright, so we were a little unfortunate. We did craft 3 pair of boots for Darizda here. Unfortunately, none of them were attack. So we got this legendary piece here for at HP. We've got this one at HP. We've got this one at defense. And we do have another one at HP. So we'll fuse those and see if we get lucky. So we'll jump back in there. We did also get a pair of boots for Palmera, and then we made some other gear for Grizel and Flix. So let's keep our fingers crossed we get a pair of attack boots here. We did not. Domain 12, so that's pretty good. So we'll hold on to those for now. And then we'll sit tight with Drizda's boots because they are attack, and seeing how she's in the back row, she probably is not taking a bunch of damage. On the gear that we got for Palmera, it is matched to her affinity. It is defense, and we got 12% stat with a bunch of attack on it as well. So this is kind of an interchangeable piece. I could run this on Tuskrog as well, seeing how it matches, and then just swap them. So that is something to consider, but I think it's kind of 6 one way, half a dozen the other. So we're gonna put those on Palmera just because she will tend to be a little squishier, so I think she'll benefit from that. We are still gonna get those soul stones and get her enlightenment level at least up 1 level, if not 2. But over here, we made some wins here. We got a new piece of gear for her. So we're gonna go ahead and equip this. Now, right now it's less power, but as we get, it's at 61,000, and we're already only 4,000 away. So when we get this material off of this tier 5 piece and put it over here, we should surpass that. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. We also have a chest plate for her that we did. So it's gonna be this guy right here. And we'll get that on her as well. So that's about half the power, but when we get these materials off, we're gonna put them on here and be better off. So we're gonna put that on her. And then on Flix, we also got a weapon, which is this guy here. And again, same thing, when we get that material over here, she'll be better off. And then on the hat, we'll do the hat as well. So we got that guy dialed in. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna pull all of that upgrade, all those upgrade materials off of those pieces of gear and salvage those and then bring them back and hopefully get all of these up to level 3 and then start working towards getting the important ones up to level 6. All right, so it never goes as far on tier 6 gear as it does on tier 5. So we got everything basically up to 4-star, but we have Flix completely outfitted with tier 6 gear now. At least 4-star, we're gonna work on getting those up to 6. On Grizel, we have her outfitted with completely set of tier 6 gear as well, and we're going to start working on getting those all up to level 6. Palmera, all tier 6 gear. We do need to work on tier 6 gear for Drizda, and then we need to work on tier 6 boots for Tuskrog. So we do have a pair of tier 6 boots, but they are not attack, so that's the unfortunate side there. But we can start working on these 2 pieces and see how far we can get. I think we do have a couple more purchases we can make. Yeah, we still have 8, so we can get as many pieces of leather and then start utilizing the bone and see if we can replace 2 of those pieces as well. All right, so we fell just shy of getting 4 pieces of leather together, so that's about what we can get for today. And so we've seen some pretty big gains on the gear front, so I think we're doing pretty good there. So let's jump into our inventory. We're gonna print out a couple characters, and then we will get those soul stones over and see about enlightening Palmera. All right, so we were able to get 3.6 thousand of the soul stones there. That should be enough, I believe, to at least enlighten her once, but hopefully enlighten her twice. Although I burned the copies of her I needed to do it. So we do have 1. I think that's all we have. So let's see if I think I did all of the copies I had of her. Yeah, so we did. Yeah, okay. So let's go back through our adventure mode, and we're gonna see about getting enough fragments to summon 1 more of her. All right, so we swept our dungeon. We got 58 of 60. So we're not gonna be able to enlighten her right now. If we make progress on the account, we might actually get another copy of her or some more fragments to get that copy done. So hopefully we can still do that today. Just kind of a bonehead move. That's probably the 3rd or 4th time I've done stuff like that. So, you know, kind of fun. We did get some scrolls, so we're going to put those on our Tuskrog because he's our next guy we're taking up. But we have made a lot of increases to stats on our team. So I think that we're going to be able to press on in the account and carry on a couple new levels. So let's go ahead, jump into adventure mode, and we're gonna see where we left off. I believe we were on the Forbidden Library. We did actually have one last battle inside of Stone Table that we have not beaten challenge. We haven't beaten challenge 2 on. I think we're done with challenge 3 here because we swept that already. So we need to beat challenge 2 on the Stone Table. So let's go ahead and give that a shot and see if we can make some progress. All right, so we're into that first battle. We're gonna go ahead and use the Order of Cinder to get our ultimate abilities up a little quicker. And then hopefully we can press through this room. I wouldn't expect to have any issues with that because we have seen a lot of improvements on the team. But, you know, stranger things have happened. So we'll give it a shot. Driz is back here getting beat up, so she's not going to make it much longer. She got some heals from Flicks. Good timing. Good timing, Flicks. Way to get in there and get that done. So we are making it through here. It's looking a little sketch. That's a lot closer than I think it should be, to be honest with you. But we're probably going to get everybody through this room. Palmera's starting to pick up a little bit there, so that's good. We need, oh, Dariza's getting hurt back there. We need some heals coming in on Flicks. There we go. There we go. We're picking it up. All right, so that first room can be kind of a doozy. Hopefully the next one is a little easier, and then we should be able to get into the third. All right, we're on into that second battle. We have about half health across the board. We are going to get those 300 points right out of the gate, which will put us right into Palmera's ability, close to Flicks getting those heals. So hopefully that'll do a lot of work for us there. Start to get us a little healthier because we were looking a little bit bad coming out of that last room. But hopefully we can get some of these guys down. Still, all 5 of them are alive. Tuskrog with a great stun right there. Hopefully Dariz is staying alive. She's looking like she's hanging on by the skin of her teeth. I think we're going to get it. All right, perfect. So we're going to have everything moving into that third round. We got everybody, again, still with about half health. So that's a little bit unfortunate. So we are into that final room. Again, everybody's sitting here about half health. But so far, nobody's gone down. We've been able to make it. We're going to get those 300 points out of the gate, start out with some abilities, hopefully get some stuns out there and some damage. Flicks will get some heals up. So just keeping us alive. That was very unfortunate. Palmera was about to do her ultimate ability, but it got knocked up, and so she did not get to do it. So we're going to have to wait till we cycle all the way back through there. Darizda is now dead. I think we're going to go ahead and restart that because I think if Palmera were able to land that, she might have killed 1 or 2 of these enemies, and that might have been the difference we needed to make that work. So instead of taking it off auto, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hover over Palmera's ability because there's always that split second that it comes up that it doesn't use it. So if I just use it manually when it's available, it'll probably get that ability off before they get knocked up. So there it is right there. I got some extra damage. I don't know it's actually going to make a difference, to be honest with you. Now that I'm seeing the Dariz is down, Flicks is down, I don't think we're going to be able to beat this level. So that is pretty crazy, to be honest, because I thought we were pretty close to this before we took a, I don't even know, a 10, 12-day break. I think the last day we were in here was 46, and we're on day 58. So 12 days of improvements just went on the account. You guys saw all the gear increases, all the level increases, and it still wasn't enough. And this is where this game becomes a lot more of a grind because that is not even trying to progress in the account as much as it's just cleaning up something we've already beat. And that's not even a challenge 3, that's a challenge 2. Recommended power 115. We're well over that. So that is pretty insane that we can't beat that. That tells me our team composition is not geared well for that particular lineup. So I did see some pretty cool improvements when I started running when I started running Flicks with Aquarius on my main account. That did do a lot of work for me, and I was able to get through 1 or 2 extra rooms. So that might be something to consider here, where we take out Darizda and we put back in a Flicks, or excuse me, a Aquarius. The struggle with that is there's not a whole lot of damage going on there, so in those heavy healing rooms we're definitely going to struggle. But we do have the AoE damage from Palmera, the AoE damage from Tuskrog, so hopefully that'll be enough. But it may not be, but that might be the next step. Unfortunately, I just burned all of my Aquariuses trying to get Soul Stones to enlighten Palmera, which I can't do because I also burned Palmera's. So I'm going to have to wait until I start getting all those copies of her back to give that an honest shot. So we're in room 2 of 12. We're going to go ahead and press on. I'll bring you back in, hopefully at the last room when we beat this level. So I'll bring you back in here. I think we're only in the 5th or 6th room. We've already lost Palmera and Darizda. We're probably going to get through this room, but barely. When we get to the life tree, we can bring one of them back. So I don't know that we really have a chance here, which again is just super surprising. And it kind of tells me that whatever composition I have going here is just not that good. But I don't know of a better way to do it. So it's kind of a little frustrating, to be honest with you, because I haven't tried to progress on the account at all this last 12 days. I've been focused on the JD event, the full house, just stacking up resources. I feel like we've made some significant increases to our stats, but it was not enough. So I'm not real sure. I guess we just keep on keeping on, and eventually we'll be able to keep moving forward. But it does surprise me quite a bit that we're struggling as much as we are. I thought we'd be able to move through at least 3 or 4 new rooms based on the increases we've seen today. But I'll keep pressing on. If I happen to get further along, I'll let you know, but it's not looking good so far. We're on into that next room. Grizel's already down. Tuskrog's Wolf is down. I'm pretty confident we're not making it through here. So again, it's very surprising to me. I do have gear that's level 4, so there are some opportunities for improvement. But all of those level 4 pieces of gear are at a higher point than the tier 5 gear that I had on before. So they were improvements to each of my characters. They have higher stats on those pieces than like the attack stat here before. I forget what it was, but I think it was like 14. So we've made improvements there. This one here, I think we got 50,000 or so HP out of that. The attack here, I think, again, was like 12 or 14, so we made improvements there. This one, I think, was 7,000, so we got a couple. But obviously, it's not enough. So we're gonna have to keep going on that. And I might start working on building a Aquarius, which I can build her probably in the course of a few days because I get so many fragments from all the stage 3s or challenge 3s that I sweep every day. So I can go through and get those done and see about maybe making my team a little tankier and just kind of surpassing it. But honestly, looking at the way they engage in those waves, they don't do enough damage fast enough. That's part of the problem. So by removing Darizda and putting in a healer, that's going to make that problem a little bit worse, I think. So one thing I did do that I was really excited about that I wanted to share with you is with the GOG tokens that I won in the building blocks event, I believe, I went out into the Token Trove and I bought myself a Flix and a Lixis that were warriors. So I was kind of excited about that. I thought it was kind of a cool thing for the account. They were at a pretty good price, and my goal is actually to hold on to them for a little bit and sell them for more than I bought them for. And that'll put more Ethereum in the account so that if I wanted to try to build a character, such as I did on the main, where I buy 8 copies of Tuskrog, say, and they're 50 cents a piece for $2, I'd be able to do that. And so I might be able to make a few dollars with this Lix and a few dollars with this Lixis, Flix. I'm gonna get it right. The Flix and the Lixis, maybe make a couple dollars on each and be able to fund that whole project. And then I could also do the same thing for a Palmera, seeing how I'm using those champions. They are fairly inexpensive right now in the marketplace. So I could probably do that for Tuskrog, Darizda, and Palmera, as well as Aquarius. Utilizing probably less than $10, I would be able to get all the copies of all of them that I need. It would just be a matter of potentially getting the Ascension seals for them, or just buying a 9th copy at 50 cents. Seeing how it's probably cheaper to do that than do the Ascension seals, and then rebuild all these characters with Radiance levels. Probably wouldn't push for the flames that you saw in the Lixis video, but I would definitely do it with the ascended versions of the champions to hopefully get a 10.5 out of those champions, or at minimum of 10.4 I think is pretty likely. So I'd end up with a 10.4 for all those champions with those extra Ascension and Radiance level stats. Maybe we'd be able to get through some of this content. So that's what I got there. I am going to jump into endless mode real quick, knock that out, but I think that covers a lot of the progress that we have on the day. We are up to level 74, so we're doing a pretty good job there, just plugging away, getting resources, and improving characters that can't beat levels apparently. So we'll keep improving them until they can. But I appreciate you spending your time with me here today, and I look forward to seeing you next time.